Shut your mouth, Denzel. Don't sit there acting like some good guy when you've been cheating behind your wife's back. You've been sneaking around with some young girl in Atlanta while pretending to be a family man on camera. You're a cheater in a fancy suit trying to fool everyone. You talk about discipline, how about you learn to control yourself first? Or should I bring that girl here and let her tell everyone what you've been doing at night? You're not special. You're just another weak man who thinks being famous means you can do whatever you want. Today, I'm calling you out loud and clear, so the whole damn country can hear it. In a fiery moment that shook the core of celebrity admiration and political confrontation, the poised and collected Denzel Washington, an icon, a legend, a man whose very name evokes dignity and gravitas, found himself unraveling live on air. The man who has portrayed noble characters, fierce leaders, and principled warriors could not have prepared for the storm that would hit him, not from gossip tabloids or sneaky paparazzi, but from the unlikeliest of places, Capitol Hill's own firebrand, Representative Jasmine Crockett, known for her directness, refusal to sugarcoat anything, and fierce moral compass. Crockett didn't just rattle a few feathers, she set fire to the carefully manicured image of one of Hollywood's most respected actors. What was billed as a unifying event turned into a jaw-dropping public takedown that not only revealed secrets long kept in the dark but also redefined how the nation looks at those we've always held above scrutiny. The entire country had its eyes on the Civic Impact and Social Unity Gala, a televised charity panel meant to bridge gaps between entertainment, politics, and activism, held in Los Angeles and attended by figures ranging from movie stars to mayors, athletes to academics. The event was all about moving forward together, with panels focused on education, justice, and integrity. The intent was clear: set aside partisanship and unite under common causes. Denzel Washington was the star draw, invited to speak on mentorship and integrity in the public eye, a celebrated actor, family man, and humanitarian. Denzel's appearance was supposed to serve as an uplifting, nonpartisan highlight. Jasmine Crockett, on the other hand, was there to discuss systemic policy issues but had earned her place at the table through unrelenting honesty and political savvy. No one could have foreseen the collision that was coming, except, perhaps, Crockett herself. Denzel, as expected, was regal in his demeanor. When his turn came to speak, he addressed the crowd with that familiar charisma, that slow, steady cadence that has captivated audiences for decades. He spoke of mentorship, the need for strong male figures in the lives of young men, and the importance of truth and discipline. We can't demand excellence from our kids, he said, if we're living in lies. The next generation is watching every move we make. The room applauded. The words were powerful, but as the camera panned, the faintest twitch in Jasmine Crockett's expression suggested she wasn't sold on the authenticity behind the message. When it was her turn, Crockett began by acknowledging the work of Black mentors in communities across the country, including Denzel, but just as it seemed her comments would flow in support, she pivoted. I'm just curious, she said calmly, what happens when the people these kids look up to are speaking about truth while living with deceit in their own lives? Isn't that also a form of dishonesty? The room grew still. Denzel, clearly unsure of whether to take it personally, smiled and replied, we're all human, Congresswoman. We strive, we stumble, but we lead with intent. But Crockett was not finished. She leaned forward slightly, her voice steady but sharp. What if the stumbling isn't a one-time thing? What if it's a repeated betrayal? I mean, how do we take moral instruction from someone who's been living two lives, one for the public, and one in an Atlanta condo with someone who's not their wife? That single sentence cracked the room open like an egg dropped from a skyscraper. Gasps, audible shifting in chairs. The moderator turned pale, and Denzel's once commanding presence visibly recoiled. What are you insinuating? Denzel asked, his tone no longer gentle. Crockett didn't blink. I'm not insinuating anything. I'm stating what's been whispered for months. You can look the crowd in the eye and talk about discipline, but what do you say to your wife? To the young publicist you've been seeing since the New Orleans shoot last year? Or do you deny the flights, the rented apartment, the late-night dinners your driver covered up? Her delivery was surgical, cold, factual, unshaken. It wasn't the language of an emotional outburst. It was the sound of truth being dropped like a stone into a glass room. Denzel erupted. Gone was the calm elder statesman. What emerged instead was a wounded man, exposed, cornered, and furious. You don't know a damn thing about my marriage, he shouted, standing up abruptly. You come on here with your accusations and your damn vendettas. How dare you try to tear down a man's family for headlines? His voice echoed through the hall, and the microphones caught every word, every crack in that composed facade. I've worked my entire life to set an example, and you want to tear that down in 2 minutes of sound bites? This ain't about truth, it's about spectacle, and you just wanted a stage. Security didn't intervene, but the tension made everyone feel like something could explode. Crockett, remarkably, didn't raise her voice. She sat composed, simply saying, this isn't about spectacle, it's about accountability, the same accountability you preach. You're right, people are watching, And they deserve to know whether the men giving them advice are living honestly or not. Denzel, now visibly trembling with rage, slammed his hand on the table, muttered a furious "I'm done," and walked off the stage, tearing the mic from his jacket and storming past reporters. The room remained frozen. Crockett sat back, not victorious, not smug, just steady, like a storm had passed through her and she was already ready for the next one. In the hours that followed, social media exploded. Denzel and Jasmine Crockett trended within minutes. Memes, debates, and video clips dominated every platform. TikTok users created side-by-side reaction videos. Twitter users either condemned Crockett for ambushing a black legend or praised her for finally holding powerful men accountable. Instagram pages posted screenshots of alleged text messages between Denzel and a woman named T, whose identity remained a mystery but whose presence was being pieced together by online sleuths at an alarming rate. Reddit threads cross-referenced flight logs, filming schedules, and social media photos. Within 24 hours, the scandal was no longer a rumor, it was a wildfire. Denzel's PR team went into damage control. A statement released by his representative read, "Mr. Washington is saddened by the public display of private matters. Allegations made without evidence are irresponsible and damaging, not only to his family but to the work he has spent decades building. He asks for privacy as he addresses this matter internally." But the problem wasn't the lack of evidence, it was the surplus. Journalists dug deeper. A mid-sized Atlanta tabloid, long dismissed as gossip fodder, resurfaced a story from months earlier about a high-profile celebrity frequenting a downtown condo with a younger woman. No names were used at the time, but now, in hindsight, the details matched Denzel's alleged timeline too perfectly to ignore. As the scandal grew, so did the questions. Why did Jasmine Crockett choose that moment to speak? Was it spontaneous, or had she been waiting for the right moment to strike? Sources close to Crockett later confirmed that she had been sitting on the information for months but chose to reveal it not for personal vendetta, but to spotlight a broader pattern of public figures escaping scrutiny while preaching values they don't live by. In a CNN follow-up interview, Crockett said, "If we want the next generation to believe in leadership again, we have to stop giving passes to people we admire. Truth doesn't discriminate between actors and politicians." Denzel, meanwhile, reportedly retreated from the public eye. Paparazzi caught him once, entering a Beverly Hills home known to be owned by a close friend. His wife, Pauletta Washington, remained silent, but sources within her circle said she was devastated, not just by the revelation, but by the public nature of it. "She's old school," one insider said. "Private battles are supposed to stay private. This has rocked her world." Friends and family attempted to console her, but it was clear the betrayal, if true, cut deep. The woman at the center of the allegations has not made a public statement. Speculation continues, but no one has been able to definitively identify her. What is known is that she worked briefly on a production Denzel was involved in, and that she had ties to multiple publicity firms. Screenshots circulating online show her tagged in Instagram stories from events Denzel also attended, though not together in any post. It's this ambiguity that continues to fuel the fire. Was this an affair? A close friendship? A mentorship gone too far? Without either party confirming, the lines remain blurred, but the damage, clearly, is not. Meanwhile, public sentiment remains divided. Older fans of Denzel express heartbreak and disbelief, clinging to the image of a man who has always seemed above the fray. But younger audiences, especially women, have rallied behind Crockett, seeing her as a necessary force in a world where men in power often get to define the narrative. This isn't just about cheating, it's about hypocrisy, about how society selectively forgives the flaws of those it loves while demonizing truth-tellers who dare speak up. And Jasmine Crockett is not apologizing. She continues her work in Congress, undeterred. When asked whether she had any regrets about the way the incident played out, she responded, "I regret that the truth is so uncomfortable for some people, but I don't regret saying it, because if I didn't, who would?" Her supporters say she's done what few dare to, held a mirror to the most protected members of society and forced them to look. Her detractors say she crossed a line, using private pain for public gain, but in the court of public opinion, the jury is still out. In the weeks following the incident, Denzel canceled 2 scheduled appearances, including a commencement speech and a theater awards ceremony. His team cited health and family matters. Insiders claim he's considering a hiatus from acting, possibly even an early retirement, though nothing official has been confirmed. Hollywood is known for its short memory, but the nature of this scandal, the emotional eruption, the public spectacle, the broken trust, may leave a stain too big to ignore. The intersection of fame, truth, and public accountability has never been more pronounced. This wasn't just a celebrity scandal. It was a cultural moment, a challenge to the notion that fame equals virtue, that legacy excuses behavior, and that charm can cover sin. Jasmine Crockett didn't simply expose Denzel Washington. She exposed the machine that enables figures like him to rise without resistance. She questioned the stories we're told, the myths we build, and the lies we accept because they come from faces we trust. The public may never know the full truth, but one thing is certain, the facade has cracked, and behind it is a man, no different from any other, who must now decide whether to rebuild in silence or finally speak for himself. And America? America is watching closer than ever before. If you found this story shocking, eye-opening, or even challenging, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon for more real talk, deep dives, and unfiltered stories that don't shy away from the truth. There's more coming, and you won't want to miss a moment.